Stop scrolling right now, because what you're about to hear has been buried, whispered, and ignored for years. The most powerful couple in music may not just run the industry, they might be connected to something far bigger, far darker. And what people are saying online will absolutely shock you to your core. For years, Beyoncé and Jay-Z were sold as the ultimate success story. Talent, hustle, love, legacy, the perfect American dream wrapped in platinum records and billion-dollar tours. That was the version everyone repeated. But the internet says that story is a lie. Because according to thousands of viral theories, forums, leaked whispers, and conspiracy breakdowns, nobody reaches this level of power without paying a price. And this is where the conspiracy explodes. What started as fan speculation has turned into a full-blown digital investigation involving demons, secret societies, political warfare, and allegations so dark they could destroy everything. The whole narrative is twisting. Fans noticed it first. The hand symbols, the triangles, the dark imagery, the coded visuals hidden inside music videos, performances, and fashion lines. Every single move started getting dissected like a crime scene investigation. Jay-Z flashes the triangle, boom, Illuminati signal. Beyoncé performs with strange alter egos, boom, possession accusations. Nothing is random anymore. Everything became proof. Let me break this down. Online detectives turned into full-blown investigators, slowing down frames, zooming in to every hand gesture, analyzing every lyric, every costume choice, every stage design. They started comparing symbols from ancient occult texts to Beyoncé's Super Bowl performance. They traced numerology through album release dates. They connected dots that most people didn't even know existed. And the deeper they dug, the more convinced they became that this wasn't just entertainment. This was a message, a ritual, a code. Think about the rock symbol Jay-Z throws up constantly. Fans swear it's not just a diamond shape representing his record label. They claim it's the all-seeing eye, the pyramid, the mark of secret societies that have controlled world power for centuries. And once that idea took root, every appearance, every award show, every public moment became evidence. They started pulling up old interviews where Jay-Z mentioned secret meetings in the industry. They analyzed Beyoncé's lyrics for hidden meanings. They even broke down the way she moves on stage, claiming certain gestures were summoning rituals. And honestly, the visuals didn't help their case. Look at the imagery in videos like Run the World or Formation or Apeshit. Dark churches, Illuminati-style pyramids, occult symbolism everywhere. Fans screenshotted every single frame. They created side-by-side comparisons with alleged Illuminati artwork. They built entire YouTube channels dedicated to decoding the hidden messages. Some videos racked up millions of views, with comment sections full of people saying they finally woke up to the truth. But it gets even crazier. People started connecting their success timeline to alleged sacrifices. This is where the theory goes nuclear. Conspiracy theorists claim to reach the top of the entertainment industry, you have to give something up, something or someone close to you. They started listing names of people in Beyoncé and Jay-Z's circle who died or fell off mysteriously. They pointed to Aaliyah's death, claiming Jay-Z was involved because he wanted Beyoncé. They brought up Jay-Z's former business partners who disappeared from the spotlight. Every tragedy, every loss, every career ending became part of the narrative. And the symbolism wasn't just in music videos. Fans noticed it in their clothing, the brands they wore, the designers they supported, the events they attended. There were entire threads on Reddit breaking down their Met Gala outfits, claiming the patterns and colors represented occult rituals. People analyzed their jewelry, swearing certain pieces contained satanic symbols. They even went after their business ventures, claiming Tidal and Ivy Park were fronts for money laundering tied to secret organizations. Let's keep it real. Once the internet decides something is suspicious, there's no going back. Every smile becomes sinister. Every silence becomes complicity. Every success becomes proof of a deal with darkness. And for Beyoncé and Jay-Z, the machine kept building evidence that, to believers, was undeniable.
The hand signs, the imagery, the power, the silence when questioned, all of it fed the fire, and the fire kept spreading across every corner of the internet, turning casual fans into full-blown conspiracy theorists overnight. That hits different when you realize how many people genuinely believe this narrative. Fans swear that nothing about their rise was organic. They claim record labels are controlled by elite secret societies and that Beyoncé and Jay-Z were chosen early on. They point to Jay-Z's rapid rise from Brooklyn streets to billionaire status as impossible without help from powerful hidden forces. They claim Beyoncé's flawless image, her untouchable reputation, her ability to control narratives, all of it is too perfect to be real. It has to be engineered, and by something far bigger than just good management and talent. And this is where the community of believers really locks in. They're not just casual fans theorizing for fun. These are people who have created databases, spreadsheets, timelines, video compilations, and entire websites dedicated to exposing what they believe is the truth. They reference ancient texts, occult practices, historical secret societies, and modern-day power structures, all tying it back to Beyoncé and Jay-Z. And when you see the level of detail, the hours of research, the conviction in their voices, it's hard to not wonder, what if they're onto something? Or at least, why are so many people this convinced? Now let's get into the motive, because this is where everything starts clicking and the psychology behind the chaos gets terrifyingly real. Here's the belief fueling the chaos. Talent alone is never enough. In an industry as competitive, as ruthless, as gate-capped as music and entertainment, the idea that two people from humble beginnings could rise to be the most powerful couple in the world feels, to many, impossible without external forces. And that belief is the foundation of everything that follows. Think about it. Jay-Z grew up in the Marcy Projects in Brooklyn. He sold drugs, he hustled, he built Rockefeller Records from the ground up when no major label would sign him. That's the story we all know, but conspiracy theorists say that story is a lie. Because according to thousands of viral theories, forums, leaked whispers, and conspiracy breakdowns, nobody reaches this level of power without paying a price. And once, this is where the conspiracy explodes. What started as fan speculation has turned into a full-blown digital investigation involving demons, secret societies, political warfare, and allegations so dark they could destroy everything. The whole narrative is twisting. Fans noticed it first. The hand symbols, the triangles, the dark imagery, the coded visuals hidden inside music videos, performances, and fashion lines. Every single move started getting dissected like a crime scene investigation. Jay-Z flashes the triangle, boom, Illuminati signal. Beyoncé performs with strange alter egos, boom, possession accusations. Nothing is random anymore. Everything became proof. Let me break this down. Online detectives turned into full-blown investigators, slowing down frames, zooming in to every hand gesture, analyzing every lyric, every costume choice, every stage design. They started comparing symbols from ancient occult texts to Beyoncé's Super Bowl performance. They traced numerology through album release dates. They connected dots that most people didn't even know existed. And the deeper they dug, the more convinced they became that this wasn't just entertainment. This was a message, a ritual, a code. Think about the rock symbol Jay-Z throws up constantly. Fans swear it's not just a diamond shape representing his record label. They claim it's the all-seeing eye, the pyramid, the mark of secret societies that have controlled world power for centuries. And once that idea took root, every appearance, every award show, every public moment became evidence. They started pulling up old interviews where Jay-Z mentioned secret meetings in the industry. They analyzed Beyoncé's lyrics for hidden meanings. They even broke down the way she moves on stage, claiming certain gestures were summoning rituals. And honestly, the visuals didn't help their case. Look at the imagery in videos like Run the World or Formation or Apeshit. Dark churches, Illuminati-style pyramids, occult symbolism everywhere. Fans screenshotted every single frame. They created side-by-side comparisons with alleged Illuminati artwork. They built entire YouTube channels dedicated to decoding the hidden messages. Some videos racked up millions of views, with comment sections full of people saying they finally woke up to the truth. But it gets even crazier. People started connecting their success timeline to alleged sacrifices. This is where the theory goes nuclear. Conspiracy theorists claim to reach the top of the entertainment industry, you have to give something up, something or someone close to you. They started listing names of people in Beyoncé and Jay-Z's circle who died or fell off mysteriously. They pointed to Aaliyah's death, claiming Jay-Z was involved because he wanted Beyoncé. They brought up Jay-Z's former business partners who disappeared from the spotlight. Every tragedy, every loss, every career ending became part of the narrative. And the symbolism wasn't just in music videos. Fans noticed it in their clothing, the brands they wore, the designers they supported, the events they attended. There were entire threads on Reddit breaking down their Met Gala outfits, claiming the patterns and colors represented occult rituals. People analyzed their jewelry, swearing certain pieces contained satanic symbols. They even went after their business ventures, claiming Tidal and Ivy Park were fronts for money laundering tied to secret organizations. Let's keep it real. Once the internet decides something is suspicious,
But the motive isn't just about power. It's about control. Control over culture, control over narrative, control over the masses. Conspiracy theorists believe that secret societies use entertainment as a tool to manipulate, distract, and influence the public. And who better to use than the two most iconic, most loved, most untouchable figures in music? Beyoncé's music videos aren't just art, they're rituals broadcast to millions. Jay-Z's business empire isn't just capitalism, it's a network funding hidden agendas. That's the belief. And once you see it through that lens, every move they make looks calculated. Let's talk about the timeline. The louder their success became, the more people whispered. When Beyoncé dropped Lemonade and addressed Jay-Z's infidelity, fans didn't just see it as personal drama, they saw it as a distraction, a controlled narrative to keep people focused on relationship gossip instead of asking bigger questions. When Jay-Z released 444 and responded with his own confessions, people said it was damage control, a way to humanize himself while the rumors swirled. Every album, every statement, every public appearance, it all became part of a calculated chess game designed to keep the masses distracted while the real power plays happened behind the scenes. And the belief system runs deep. Fans don't just think Beyoncé and Jay-Z are members of the Illuminati, they think they're high-ranking leaders. They think Beyoncé is a priestess performing rituals disguised as performances. They think Jay-Z is a handler grooming younger artists into the same system. They point to artists like Rihanna, Kanye West, and even Blue Ivy, claiming the cycle continues. New stars get brought in, groomed, and eventually either comply or get destroyed. That's the theory, and thousands, maybe millions, believe it. Now, here's where the motive ties into fear. The reason this conspiracy exploded isn't just because of symbolism or speculation. It's because people are terrified of the idea that the culture they consume, the music they love, the icons they worship, might all be part of a system designed to control them. That fear is powerful, and once it takes root, every piece of content Beyoncé and Jay-Z put out becomes suspect. Every lyric is analyzed. Every music video is dissected. Every public statement is questioned. The trust is gone. And once trust is gone, the conspiracy becomes the truth for those who believe it. And honestly, the silence from Beyoncé and Jay-Z doesn't help. They rarely address rumors. They rarely engage with conspiracies. They operate above it all, which to fans looks like guilt, like they're hiding something. Because if the accusations were false, wouldn't they just deny them? Wouldn't they speak out? The fact that they don't fuels the fire even more. Silence becomes complicity, and complicity becomes proof. So when you put it all together, the motive is clear in the minds of believers. Beyoncé and Jay-Z aren't just successful, they're controlled, they're used, and they're using their influence to push hidden agendas on behalf of powerful elites who run the world from the shadows. That's the belief. That's the motive. And that's why millions of people online refuse to let this story die. It's not just gossip anymore, it's a movement. But here's the part that really hits different. And honestly, this is where the conspiracy crosses a line that's hard to come back from. Because it didn't just stay focused on Beyoncé and Jay-Z as adults who allegedly made choices. It dragged in their child, a literal baby. And that's when the internet went from theorizing to something way darker and way more disturbing. When Beyoncé announced her pregnancy with Blue Ivy, the world celebrated, but conspiracy theorists saw something else. They started dissecting the name, Blue Ivy. Fans claimed it was an acronym. Some said it stood for Born Living Under Evil, Illuminati's very youngest. Others claimed blue was a reference to sadness, to darkness, to the devil. They ran the name through numerology calculators and claimed the numbers added up to demonic codes. They translated it into different languages and swore they found satanic meanings. A baby who hadn't even been born yet was already being labeled as a child of darkness by thousands of people online. And it didn't stop there. Once Blue Ivy was born, the theories intensified. Fans analyzed her appearance, claiming she didn't look like Beyoncé or Jay-Z, which sparked surrogate rumors. They claimed Beyoncé faked her pregnancy using a prosthetic belly because secret societies required her to use a specific bloodline for her child. They dissected every photo, every appearance, every outfit Blue Ivy wore, looking for symbols. Some even claimed the child was being raised in occult rituals, groomed to continue the family legacy of darkness. Parents across the internet were horrified. Forums exploded. TikTok turned it into viral hysteria. The comment sections were full of people saying they were praying for Blue Ivy's soul, that she needed to be saved from her parents. That kind of targeting, that level of obsession with an innocent child, crossed every moral and ethical line imaginable. But the believers didn't care. To them, the child wasn't just a child, they were a symbol, proof of the conspiracy, evidence that Beyoncé and Jay-Z were willing to sacrifice anything, even their own daughter's innocence, for power. Think about how twisted that is. Imagine being a child growing up in the public eye, and every single photo of you, every smile, every birthday is dissected by strangers online who genuinely believe you're part of a satanic ritual. That's the reality Blue Ivy has been living with since birth. And her younger siblings, Rumi and Sir, aren't exempt either. Fans have already started theorizing about their names, their appearances, their purpose. The cycle continues. And the trauma that kind of attention causes, not just to the children but to the entire family, is something no amount of wealth or fame can protect against. This is where the emotional weight of the conspiracy becomes undeniable, because it's not just about adults making alleged choices, it's about innocent children being dragged into a narrative they have no control over. It's about a family being accused of the most horrific things imaginable based on speculation, symbolism, and fear. And once those accusations are out there, once they're embedded in the internet's collective consciousness, they never fully go away. The damage is permanent. And for Blue Ivy, Rumi, and Sir, they'll grow up knowing that millions of people believe their parents are monsters. That hits different. That's a level of cruelty that's hard to wrap your head around. And yet, the believers don't see it that way. They see themselves as truth-tellers, as protectors, as people trying to expose evil before it spreads further. They genuinely believe they're doing something righteous by warning the world about Beyoncé and Jay-Z. But in reality, they're participating in the public harassment and demonization of a family based on theories with no concrete proof. That's the emotional cost of conspiracy culture, and it's something that should make everyone pause and ask, where's the line? When does speculation become harm? And who pays the price? Then came religion, and this is where the conspiracy went from internet theory to real-world accusations that involved public figures, political candidates, and religious leaders making statements that shocked even the most dedicated gossip followers. Because at this point, it wasn't just anonymous Reddit users and TikTok teenagers pushing the narrative. It was people with platforms, with influence, with audiences of their own, legitimizing the conspiracy in ways that made it impossible to ignore. A U.S. pastor publicly claimed in front of his congregation and later in viral videos that Beyoncé is possessed by a demon called Sasha Fierce.
Now, for those who don't know, Sasha Fierce was an alter ego Beyoncé created during the I Am Sasha Fierce era. She described it as a stage persona, a character she embodied to feel more confident during performances. But this pastor took that concept and ran with it, claiming Sasha Fierce wasn't a persona, it was a literal demon. He said Beyoncé invited dark spirits into her body through her performances, and that she was now under demonic control. And thousands of people in the comments agreed. They shared the video. They prayed for her. They warned others not to listen to her music because it would open doors to evil. But it didn't stop there. Then a congressional candidate went full nuclear. This wasn't some random internet troll. This was someone running for public office, using their platform to make wild, dangerous accusations. This candidate claimed Beyoncé is a demon, not possessed by one, but literally is one. They claimed she's not even black, despite her very obvious black heritage, and that her entire identity is a fabrication designed to deceive the public. They dragged George Soros into it, claiming Beyoncé was part of a deep state plan funded by elites to control black culture and push liberal agendas. They said her music, her activism, her entire brand was a psyop, a psychological operation designed to manipulate the masses and shape society.
And honestly, once that door opened, everything became a weapon. Every performance Beyoncé gave at a political event, like her appearances supporting Hillary Clinton or speaking out during Black Lives Matter, was framed as proof. Every business move Jay-Z made, like his partnership with the NFL despite protests over Colin Kaepernick, was analyzed as evidence of complicity with corrupt systems. Every statement they made, or didn't make, was dissected for hidden meanings and ulterior motives. The conspiracy wasn't just about secret societies anymore. It was about power structures, about race, about politics, about control over culture itself. And the believers ate it up. They shared the pastor's sermon. They boosted the congressional candidates' claims. They created echo chambers where these ideas became accepted facts. And the more the ideas spread, the more people started believing them, even people who previously dismissed conspiracies as nonsense. Because when a pastor says it, when a political candidate says it, when thousands of people online are saying it, it starts to feel real. It starts to feel like maybe there's something there. Maybe the smoke means there's fire. Let's keep it real. This is how misinformation works. It starts with speculation, then it gets repeated, then it gets legitimized by people with platforms. Then it becomes part of the cultural conversation, whether it's true or not. And by the time anyone tries to fact check or push back, the damage is already done. The narrative is set. And for Beyoncé and Jay-Z, the narrative was now that they were demonic, politically corrupt, racially deceptive tools of a global elite conspiracy. That's a hell of a reputation to fight against, especially when the accusations come from so many different directions at once. And the craziest part? None of it required proof. None of it required evidence beyond symbolism, speculation, and gut feelings. The pastor didn't provide receipts. The congressional candidate didn't provide documents. The internet didn't provide anything concrete. But it didn't matter, because the story was too juicy, too dramatic, too perfect for viral content. And once a story like that takes off, truth becomes secondary. What matters is the narrative. What matters is the engagement. What matters is how many people believe it, not whether it's actually real. So by this point in the conspiracy timeline, Beyoncé and Jay-Z weren't just accused of being in a secret society. They were accused of being demons, of being fake, of being political operatives, of being puppets controlled by powerful elites with sinister agendas. And millions of people, from church congregations to political rallies to comment sections across every social media platform, were repeating these accusations as if they were facts. That's the power of conspiracy, and that's the danger. And then, real scandals, actual documented incidents poured gasoline on the conspiracy fire. Because up until this point, most of the theories relied on symbolism, speculation, and interpretations of imagery. But when real-world drama entered the picture, drama that was caught on camera, drama that involved violence, cheating, and public meltdowns, suddenly the conspiracy theorists felt validated. They said, "See, we told you something was wrong, and now here's the proof." Let's start with the elevator incident. May 5th, 2014, after the Met Gala, TMZ drops footage that breaks the internet. Security camera footage from inside an elevator at the Standard Hotel in New York. And what do we see? Solange Knowles, Beyoncé's younger sister, physically attacking Jay-Z, kicking him, swinging at him, going absolutely wild. And Beyoncé, she's just standing there, silent, calm, not intervening, just watching. And a security guard has to step in to restrain Solange before things get even worse. The footage went viral instantly. Everyone had the same question. What the hell happened in that elevator? What could Jay-Z have possibly done to make Solange that angry? And why was Beyoncé so calm? Fans screamed for answers. Theories exploded. Some said Jay-Z tried to go to Rihanna's after-party without Beyoncé, and Solange wasn't having it. Some said he disrespected Beyoncé in some way, and Solange was defending her sister. Some said it was about business, about money, about control. Nobody knew for sure, and the family stayed silent. But then the music came. Beyoncé dropped Lemonade in 2016, and the entire album was about infidelity, betrayal, and pain. The lyrics were brutal. He better call Becky with the good hair. Fans went insane trying to figure out who Becky was. Was it Rachel Roy? Was it Rita Ora? The internet turned into detectives analyzing every woman Jay-Z had ever been photographed with. And the consensus was clear. Jay-Z cheated. That's what the elevator fight was about. That's what the tension was about. And Beyoncé just confirmed it through her art. Then, Jay-Z responded with 444 in 2017. He admitted to the affair. He apologized in his lyrics. He talked about almost losing his family, and the public saw it as a redemption arc. But conspiracy theorists saw something else. They said the entire thing was staged, a controlled narrative designed to humanize them, to distract from the bigger accusations about secret societies and demonic rituals. They said the infidelity storyline was a smokescreen, a way to make people focus on relationship drama instead of asking the real questions. And honestly, whether that's true or not, the strategy worked, because for years after Lemonade dropped, everyone was talking about Becky, not the Illuminati. But it gets even wilder. Let's talk about Kanye West. 2016, during his St. Pablo tour, Kanye goes on one of his infamous rants in the middle of a concert. He's talking about Jay-Z. He's talking about the industry. He's talking about how things really work behind the scenes. And then he says something that stops everyone cold. He looks out into the crowd and says, "Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them at my head." Read that again. Killers. Kanye West, one of the biggest artists in the world, publicly said he believes Jay-Z has access to people who could harm him. And this wasn't a joke. This wasn't a lyric. This was raw, unfiltered moment of fear and paranoia broadcast to thousands of people. The internet went absolutely insane. Fans started asking, what does Kanye know? What has he seen? Why does he think Jay-Z has that kind of power? And is he in danger now that he said it out loud? Not long after that rant, Kanye was hospitalized for a psychiatric emergency. His tour was canceled. He disappeared from the public eye for months. And when he came back, he was different. He was pro-Trump. He was saying slavery was a choice. He was acting erratic, unstable, disconnected. Conspiracy theorists said he was punished. They said he was reprogrammed. They said he spoke out against the system, and the system broke him. And they pointed to Jay-Z as one of the people who made it happen. Now, whether any of that is true is impossible to know, but the fact that these real incidents, the elevator fight, the infidelity, the Kanye meltdown, all happened around the same time as the conspiracy theories were exploding, it made everything feel connected. It made people believe that where there's smoke, there's fire, and the fire kept growing. Every scandal added fuel. Every real-world drama made the conspiracies feel more plausible. And by the time the next wave of accusations hit, people were ready to believe anything. Then came the name nobody in the industry wants to touch:
Diddy, Sean Combs' Puff Daddy, one of the most powerful moguls in hip-hop history, and when his world started collapsing under horrific allegations of abuse, trafficking, and exploitation, the spotlight didn't just stay on him, it turned toward everyone in his circle, and Beyoncé and Jay-Z were close, very close. For decades, Diddy threw legendary parties, private events, exclusive gatherings, white rooms where only the elite were invited, industry insiders, A-list celebrities, powerful executives, all behind closed doors. And for years, people whispered about what happened at those parties. Rumors of excess, rumors of illegal activity, rumors of things that, if exposed, could destroy careers and reputations. But the whispers stayed whispers until they didn't. When multiple allegations of abuse and sex trafficking surfaced against Diddy, the internet immediately started asking questions. Who else was involved? Who else knew? Who else participated? And because Beyoncé and Jay-Z were photographed at Diddy's events, because they were business partners, because they were friends, their names got dragged into the conversation. Fans started pulling up old photos, old videos, old interviews where they praised Diddy, and the consensus was clear. If they were that close, how could they not know? Now, there's no evidence that Beyoncé or Jay-Z were involved in any illegal activity. None. But in the court of public opinion, proximity is guilt, association is complicity, and once Diddy's world started burning, everyone near him got scorched. The internet doesn't wait for facts. It doesn't wait for investigations. It makes assumptions based on who you were photographed with, who you did business with, who you called a friend. And for Beyoncé and Jay-Z, that association became another piece of the conspiracy puzzle. People said, see, we told you they were part of something dark. We told you the industry protects predators. We told you power at that level requires silence and complicity. And when more details about Diddy's alleged crimes emerged, details about secret recordings, about exploitation, about powerful people being complicit, the narrative around Beyoncé and Jay-Z shifted again. They weren't just accused of being in a secret society. They were accused of being connected to real-world abuse and staying silent, of protecting a system that destroys people, of benefiting from corruption while pretending to be untouchable icons.
And honestly, that's the broader implication of all of this. It's not just about whether Beyoncé and Jay-Z are in a secret society, it's about what we're willing to accept from the people we idolize. It's about whether fame and power make people untouchable. It's about whether the entertainment industry is so corrupt, so deeply broken, that the biggest stars in the world can't exist at that level without being complicit in something terrible. That's the fear driving the conspiracy. That's the question people are really asking. And what we're seeing here is how the internet holds power accountable, or at least tries to. Because traditional media won't ask these questions. Mainstream outlets protect celebrities. They control narratives. They bury stories that could damage powerful people. But the internet doesn't play by those rules. The internet digs. The internet archives. The internet connects dots that were never meant to be connected. And once those dots form a picture, even if it's incomplete, even if it's speculative, it becomes the truth for millions of people. So the broader conversation is this: how much power is too much power? At what point does success become suspicious? And when allegations surround everyone in your circle, how long can you claim ignorance before people stop believing you? Those are the questions hanging over Beyoncé and Jay-Z right now, and until they address them directly, until they break their silence and confront the accusations head-on, the conspiracy will keep growing. The theories will keep spreading, and their legacy will forever be tangled up in speculation, suspicion, and fear. And then the darkest allegation of all surfaced, the one that, regardless of outcome, changed everything. Because up until this point, the conspiracy was built on symbols, theories, proximity, and suspicion. But this was different. This was a legal accusation. This was someone coming forward with a specific, horrifying claim that involved Jay-Z directly. And when that happens, when an actual case gets filed, the internet doesn't wait for due process. It doesn't wait for evidence. It reacts. And the reaction was nuclear. A woman came forward claiming that when she was 13 years old, she was assaulted at a post-VMA party, and she named Jay-Z and Diddy as being involved. 13. Let that sink in.
The accusation was specific, it was detailed, it was filed in court, and the moment it became public, the internet exploded. Social media timelines flooded with reactions, comment sections turned into war zones. People were horrified. People were angry. People were saying, "We knew something was wrong. We've been saying it for years." Jay-Z responded immediately. He released a public statement denying the allegations completely. He called them false. He called them a shakedown. He said he would fight the case aggressively and clear his name. His legal team pushed back hard, questioning the credibility of the claim, pointing out inconsistencies, demanding evidence. And within weeks, the case started falling apart. Details were disputed. Timelines didn't match, the accuser's lawyer faced scrutiny, and eventually the legal battle shifted from the accusation itself to whether the case had merit at all. But here's the thing, in the court of public opinion, the damage was already done, because once a name is whispered next to an accusation that horrific, it never fully recovers. It doesn't matter if the case gets dismissed. It doesn't matter if the allegations are proven false. The stain is permanent. The association is permanent. And for Jay-Z, this became the culmination of every conspiracy, every rumor, every whispered theory that had been building for over a decade. People said, "See, this is what we were warning you about. This is why the symbols mattered. This is why the silence mattered. This is why the proximity to Diddy mattered. It all led here." And Beyoncé, by association, got dragged into it too. Fans started questioning how much she knew, whether she would stand by him, whether her silence meant complicity. The same way people questioned her reaction during the elevator incident, they questioned her reaction now, and the conspiracy theorists saw it as the final proof. They said the house of cards is falling. They said the truth is finally coming out. They said this is just the beginning and more names will follow. Now, let's be clear. Accusations are not convictions, claims are not facts, and everyone deserves due process. Even celebrities, even powerful people, even people we might personally dislike. But the internet doesn't work that way. The internet is judge, jury, and executioner all at once. And once the story's out there, once the headlines are written, once the tweets are viral, the truth almost doesn't matter anymore. What matters is the narrative. What matters is the perception, and the perception right now is that Jay-Z, and by extension, Beyoncé, are at the center of something far darker than anyone imagined. So what happens next? Does the case move forward? Does more evidence emerge? Do more people come forward? Or does this fade into the background like so many other celebrity scandals, only to resurface years later when something else triggers the memory? Nobody knows, but what's certain is that this allegation, true or false, will follow Jay-Z for the rest of his life. It will be mentioned in every article. It will be referenced in every conspiracy video. It will be whispered in every conversation about his legacy. And that's the reality of living in the internet age. One accusation, proven or not, can redefine everything. So what is this really? Is this all a jealous internet losing its mind? Is this what happens when people have too much time, too much access, and too much distrust of authority? Or is this a legitimate warning sign about power, silence, and the systems that protect the untouchable? Is there something darker behind the curtain, something we're not supposed to see, something that only gets exposed when enough people refuse to look away? The truth is, we may never know, because people like Beyoncé and Jay-Z exist in a world most of us will never access, a world where power is currency, where influence is protection, where silence is strategy, and where the truth, whatever it is, gets buried under layers of legal teams, PR strategies, and controlled narratives. The rest of us are left to piece together fragments, screenshots, theories, allegations, denials, and we have to decide for ourselves what we believe. But here's what's undeniable. This story isn't over. It's not even close to over. More details will drop, more accusations will surface, more conspiracies will evolve, because that's how the internet works. That's how power works, and that's how scandal works in the age of social media, where nothing ever truly dies, and everything eventually resurfaces when you least expect it. One thing is certain, The legacy of Beyoncé and Jay-Z will forever be tangled up in this narrative. Whether they're guilty of anything or not, whether the conspiracies are true or not, the perception is set. Millions of people believe they're hiding something. Millions of people believe they're complicit in something. And millions will continue digging, analyzing, and exposing until they feel like the truth, whatever that truth is, finally comes to light. And maybe that's the real lesson here, that in the modern world, perception is reality, that once the internet decides you're guilty, it doesn't matter what the courts say, that fame and power come with a price, and sometimes that price is your reputation, your privacy, and your peace. Beyoncé and Jay-Z built an empire, but empires always have cracks, and the internet is very, very good at finding them. So here's the question for you. Do you think this is all conspiracy? Do you think it's jealous fans, bored trolls, and people desperate for drama? Or do you think there's something real here? Something dark, something hidden, something that the most powerful couple in music doesn't want us to know? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it, because this conversation is far from over. And if you made it this far, thank you for rocking with me. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown, because trust me, this rabbit hole goes even deeper. There are more names, more connections, more allegations, and I'll be covering every single twist as it unfolds. Stay safe out there, stay skeptical, and remember, the truth is always stranger than fiction. I'll see you in the next one.